This is the Flemeth we know.
Find me soon enough. You need the power of a god. The strength that I alone still carry.
The blighted.
That's not
enemies
Flemeth's
will soon
voice,
break
though.
free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them.
While the prison is important, it is not the only goal you seek.
Why should I not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the elven people? They deserve it.
The elven people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience.
I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry.
As am I, old friend.
Solus killed Mythal? After all that? Is this another memory from a different time?
No. He wore that same outfit in the Inquisition. We knew Solus woke up in this world without most of his power. Now we know how he got it back.
By killing the only other god around and stealing her power.
All that epic magic and godly power. In the end, it comes down to love and murder. Same as always.
All these memories are about Solus being sad that he was right and nobody else could see it. He was right about how becoming elves would lead to war with the Titans, but Mythal wouldn't listen.
He was right that using the dagger on the Titans was evil. But Mythal wouldn't listen.
He was so proud when he imprisoned the other gods. Finally, he got to prove that he was right, and they were wrong.
Then he wakes up in our time and finds out he was wrong. The elves have nothing. The Blight's a constant threat.
And Mythal's alive, somehow. But she still won't listen.
But this time he'll show her, no matter what it takes.
So, how does everything we know help us now?
He's being honest about fighting the Blight. Whatever happens, he won't risk letting it back out into the world.
Agreed. But he has a plan to escape that prison, and not one we'll like.
He turned on Mythal, the one person he was actually loyal to. There's no way he won't turn on us.
He's a spirit, or was once. He might be able to possess someone, affect minds, all the things spirits do.
He created the veil. His very nature is tied to it. That will be a source of strength, but also a potential weakness.
Mythal has him all messed up. Anything about her or Elgernon is gonna make him angry. Sloppy.
Solus
Why
thinks he knows
Elgernon?
what's best for everyone. Anything he does, he'll do while telling himself he's the hero.
He's smart, but we know him. That works for now, yeah.
That gives us something to start from. Elganon and Gillenane are the two big problems right now. But when Solus makes his move, we'll be ready.
You have witnessed the Protector's tale, Dweller, almost to its end.
Almost? How can there be more?
When the mighty fall, their echoes cross the ages. An audience is warranted. Speak with your visitor. She awaits you in the crossroads.
What? Is Mythal here? She awaits me in the crossroads. We're bringing... Oh, it's gotta be these two. We're talking ancient elven lore, you know? And Darkspawn. It's gotta be these two. Maybe even Taj, because Taj... Oh. Oh, she look cool. Oh, she look cool right now. Oh, it's literally right there. Meet Morrigan. Huh.
Well met, Rook.
I don't know why I ran up on you like that, my bad.
How did you get here?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes, but not the Dreadwolf's crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the
Morgan's
moment.
a little
Questions
tricky-dicky
about
herself.
Solus and Mythal?
Mythal?
The two gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mythal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solus spilled Mythal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait, how do you know exactly what we saw of Solus's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dreadwolf's memories. When Mythal stood against the gods' manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
Something about spirits. Because Morrigan is Mythal.
So, if Mythal was originally a spirit, maybe that's how she survived her body's death.
Very good. Mythal was a spirit turned elven. And when her body was struck down, to spirit, she returned. Her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries, she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew.
So does she still have the Darkspawn baby?
Again,
I gave her
she
the
was struck
Darkspawn
down.
baby.
On this occasion,
She had
by
the Darkspawn
Solus,
baby.
He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait.
Get with it,
As
Rook. Come
you
on,
say.
dude. And you're her. Then I could use your aid? No, I mean, we knew this already. How complicated will this get? And you're her. I'll just say that.
So, you're the next host of Mythal?
Believe it or not, as you choose.
What? That was like how Elganon and Gillenane can talk in your head, but...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remained free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions.
Hold on. So was Morgan planning from the beginning to pass Mythal down to a Darkspawn child? There's something about the Darkspawn blood that she wanted, but I don't know what it was. How'd you and Solus get along?
You would have met Solus in the Inquisition, right?
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mythal's memories. At the time, I thought Solus a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me in all my ignorance.
See, this
expound
feels
on the
like
histories
Dragon
of the
Age,
elven
dude.
people,
We're Dragon
explaining
Aging now.
legends he had witnessed himself.
Bet he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
It seems like they're rewriting the lore in some places a little bit, but why aren't you elven?
How can you carry Mythal's soul if you're not an elf?
Her
a good
spark has
question.
sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mythal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
Mythal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
So, there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mythal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own. It inevitably came to pass on a deep night. I was awakened by the presence of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
Sounds incredibly weird.
This isn't the strangest thing I've heard, but it's close.
'Tis difficult to describe, even now. Mythal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me, but I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge, both Mythal's and of those who bore her.
Can you help against the gods? Of course she can, Rook.
Do you have
What?
information we can use against Gillenane or Elganon? Or Solus?
The last time Mythal faced Elganon and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solus?
You may recall he murdered Mythal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess, I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right.
I'd like to move on.
You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mythal.
I am not Mythal in her entirety, but yes, the Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice. And now, after finding his memories, you have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solus?
I'll ask that first.
I should ask you. Mythal knew Solus better than anyone.
I would influence your answer. Or do you mean to discover if I would stand directly against the Dread Wolf were there a need?
Would you?
I shall aid you in any way but that, even had I the power. What has passed between Solus and Mythal? I beg you, do not ask this of me again.
That's Mythal coming through. He's torn, but doesn't know it. He's a self-pitying monster. Trapped? I feel sorry for him. He's trying to help. I'll say he's torn, but doesn't know it.
Solus talks a lot about what has to be done, being forced to make hard choices. But it's like he's trying to talk himself into it. I think, deep down, he doesn't entirely believe what he's saying.
'Tis exactly like the old wolf to tie himself into the most intricate knots. 'Tis not malice which made Solus your opponent, but conviction, a belief that only he may halt what he set in motion. Yet Solus was once beloved of Mythal. 'Tis his very loyalty and love for his people that led to the tragedy we now face. You may be in a position to determine how it ends, more so than either of you might realize.
Maybe this can end okay. I'll be ready.
If that's what it takes.
Such determination. Have you not even a tremor of doubt?
Wouldn't do me any good.
If you would shape the outcome of your battle, I've one last secret to share. When Mythal was struck down by the other gods, it was with her own lyrium dagger, the dagger you now carry. Solus recovered it from Elganon, and from it extracted a fragment of Mythal that had lain hidden within its depths. This fragment, a younger sister to the one I carry, if you will, resides here, in the crossroads. I can open the way for you. Find her, survive the encounter, and the essence you obtain will aid you in times to come.
Okay. That's nice. There are 2 Mythals?
Another fragment of Mythal? In addition to the one inside you?
You are aware of what the word fragment means, are you not? One small piece of many. formed
Yeah, I like
when
that
something greater is
pompous,
broken.
that pompous
The
Morgan.
first elves were spirits, as you well know.
From
and
back
when
in
a
the
spirit is
day.
broken, it may shatter into pieces, each holding part of the original. Among the ancient elves who became known as gods, Dirthaman and his brother, Falondine, are but one
Yeah,
example.
like the characters, that's the thing. The characters in Origin, like, let's talk about Morgan, because I'm just reminded of this. She was so interesting because she thought of herself so highly, like in regard to everyone else, because she knew more than everyone about what's going on. But she knew nothing of the world because she just lived with her mother in the woods her whole life. So she would be proven wrong about a lot of things, or she would ask questions about things she didn't understand, and you're just reminded, like, oh, this person is like has stunted knowledge of how the world works. You don't get that depth with any of these new characters. Even like in Inquisition, the characters weren't that deep. She's not friendly.
You make it sound like this piece of Mythal is going to attack me.
You know Solus, and have seen Elganon, and memories of Mythal. They are creatures of emotion, as all spirits are. The fragment of Mythal that resides in me lived among mortals for thousands of years. She has grown wiser and more patient. This younger sister has not. She is the essence of Mythal as a god. She is unlikely to listen to polite requests, and though she is but a fragment of the goddess, the battle will test you sorely.
If she's just going to attack us, why tell us about her at all? We have enough enemies already.
A fragment of a god's essence is a powerful thing. It may give you options against Elganon and Gillenane, or against the Dreadwolf himself, should he prove as cunning and treacherous as ever.
Any suggestions?
If I were to try to talk with her, do you have any suggestions?
She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. She is, for want of better phrasing, prickly. But if you are determined to try, then I wish you luck.
About types of spirits.
What kind of spirit was Mythal before she became an elf? I know Solus is elven for pride.
Mythal enjoyed ruling and having power, but it came not from the overweening desire to crush resistance, as is the case with Elganon. The emotion that inspired her might best be described as benevolence, a guiding hand, inclined to kindness. But like any spirit, when angered or twisted against her purpose, a more violent aspect arose. Where the Dreadwolf's wisdom gave way to pride when the world did not meet his standards, Mythal's benevolence gave way to retribution. After all, when kindness fails, the guilty must be punished.
Must be punished. I don't think this is the same voice actress
you would know
either.
This aspect of
for
Mythal better
Morgan.
than anyone. Could you try talking to her?
I dare say she would attack me on sight.
Spirits can't get along with
Could be
fragments of
wrong.
each other.
Spirits, certainly. But the aspects of a self-righteous god who have walked different paths for ages? One bears the insult of her betrayal by the Evanuris, and then by Solus, as fresh wounds, insult upon injury. The other once fell in love with an Alamari chieftain and lived happily in a swamp for centuries. Each reminds
her
the
mother.
other that another path existed, that they could have been wrong, and nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
Thank you for the information, Morgan.
I only ask that you reflect upon what I have said. The Dreadwolf is not so apart from the world as he thinks. There, you have the advantage of him.
Well, let's go try that out. Oh, is it going to be a dragon? It's going to be another dragon.
has to be her.
A fragment of Mythal herself. We talking or fighting?
Guess we'll find out.
You are Rook. I have seen you and your companions. I never thought to see Kunari, who did not yet exist in my time, scurrying about in the Dread Wolf's crossroads. And you know who I am?
Mythal.
The part of me that survived betrayal by the rest of the Evanuris, if this can be called surviving. Solas. He drew me from the dagger that struck me down, but what is left of me can only survive here. I cannot return to the world, and even the true Fade is denied me. All I can do is watch. Why are you here? To beg me to give up what remains of myself to help you defeat the monsters Elganan and Gillinane have become? Or do you simply think yourself ready to fight a god?
You're not going to help us.
Morrigan was right. Talking to you is a waste of time.
You listen to the human and the cowardly echo she carries. Pathetic.
I didn't think that was gonna
You desire
lead.
the essence of a god and think you deserve it.
I didn't think that was gonna
Then
lead
take it if you can.
straight to battle.